I decided that my only way out was to kill him. Oh my goodness. Nobody should ever have to think something like that or believe that that's their only recourse, that's their only way out. No one should ever have to do that. But here I was. So I get a gun. Sadly enough, you can get one anywhere. So I got a gun, took it back to the house, hid it in an upstairs bathroom that he didn't use. Waited for my opportunity, came downstairs, was stretched out on the sofa. I stood up, looked at him, shot him once. I shot him and I stood there and I watched him die. And I thought something was wrong with me because I didn't go to pieces or I didn't lose my mind or anything like that. I just felt safe. And I was conflicted because I wasn't a killer, but I killed. I wasn't a murderer, but I murdered. I thought about it. It was premeditated. And I didn't think about it in terms of, oh, I'm just trying to commit premeditated murder. I was just trying to live. It is a bad feeling to know that you took somebody else's life. But at the same time, I do not apologize for living. So when it was over, the judge said, "You'll die in prison," and sentenced me to natural life. That's prison without parole, a mandatory life sentence. So I went to prison. It was hard. I was hurt because they made him the innocent victim. They made me the cold-blooded killer. I think the first night I went to jail was the best sleep I had had, and I don't know when.
You brought up God and your relationship with God and how it almost sounded like you felt betrayed. Like, well, where are you? What's going on? How can this happen to me? So can you talk about the journey that you've had through life, not just yourself, but along with your relationship with God?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked me that. I remembered there was the church prison ministry came out. You know, it's the ministry, it's not the most popular ministry in the prison. They come to the jail or the prison and, they'll send them home but they come right back. But this one particular Sunday, the prison ministry came and there was this little old lady. She was about 85-year-old little black lady. No filter at all. And so, when you're 85 years old, you figure, look, I've lived through enough to say whatever I want to say. So she's in the prison and she looks at me and she says, "Come here, baby." And I walked over to her in my good girl voice. I said, "Yes, ma'am." She said, "How much time you doing?" I said, "I'm doing natural life." She said, "Natural life?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." That woman looked at me and said, "As long as there's breath in your body, there is hope. And your hope is in Jesus." And it wasn't what she said, it was the way she said it. With authority, like she knew what she was talking about. And just like that day when I was 7 and I didn't want to stay at the carnival, I didn't want to stay at the church service anymore. I went back to my room. I fell down on my face. And in my own snot, my own tears, I said, "God, if I die in this prison, it's okay. You just save me. If I die right here, oh God, it's okay. If you just save me." Because I had nothing left. No faith, no hope, no strength, no energy. 17 years, 5 appeals, 5 times the courts overturned it. I had nothing left, no money. If I die here, it's okay. And I was down on the floor crying, and I heard the judge's voice in my ear saying, "You will die in prison." But you know, he was right, because the old Joyce laid there and died, and a new Joyce in Christ Jesus got up. When I got up off that floor, there was a new hope, a new belief, a new strength, a new faith. I didn't know anything about any of it. I just knew that I was going to be okay. Eventually, a jailhouse lawyer found an issue in my case, and I was able to get back to court after 17 years and 120 days. Got back to court. I had a tremendous amount of support, and I was freed after 17 years and got out of prison, stood in the sunlight with no belly chains, no leg irons, no handcuffs. 17 years I was free. Oh, by the way, I was one of 3 women selected to be a part of a pilot program for the University of Michigan. I'm just so happy to say that I'm the first woman to ever graduate from the University of Michigan while behind bars. Go Blue! So, and I went right into the School of Social Work, University of Michigan. Finished my master's. Everything else is history.
If you could hop in a time machine and go back and hold that 7-year-old and hug her and tell her anything, what would you want to go back and say to her?
Oh my goodness, that's amazing you say that. I work with my clients on that very thing right now. I would go back and get her and let her know that it wasn't her fault and that she's okay. Because what we do is run from that little girl, we run from that little boy. We get as far away as we can, and we leave them back there. And they are back there, just still feeling unworthy, still hurt, still confused, still wondering what it was that they did wrong to cause so much hurt and so much pain. So, yeah, I work with my clients on that very thing. It's very, very important. We have to be able to go back, get that little kid, process what happened to that little kid, and let her know that she's okay and she's not alone. And it was not her fault. Oh my goodness. It wasn't her fault.
Do you regret what happened?
No. I mean, if I could have created this amazing fantasy life for myself, I would have. But what happened was supposed to happen. It could have been somebody else, but it was supposed to be me. You know, now I've learned that we are right where, I don't care who we are. We're right where we're supposed to be until we get to that next place. So I hurt because of maybe the pain I caused other people. I hurt because of the pain I caused my own children, maybe my own family. But if I regret, then what I'm really saying is that I'm responsible for what happened to me. And what happened to me didn't start at the place where I shot him. What happened to me started way back when I was 7. So I don't regret doing what I did because back then wasn't my fault. And I don't regret doing what I did because I wanted to live.
I know pride is a sin, but do you ever sit back and think, I'm pretty proud of myself and what I've done and where I've come from and where I'm headed? Do you ever allow yourself to think that?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Because it fuels me. It fuels me forward. And I am not afraid now. I am not afraid to be proud of me. I am not afraid to give myself permission to say, Joyce, good job, well done. Good job, Joyce.